So this is the review of End of Longing, which was at the Playhouse Theatre until Saturday the 14th of May. The cast was 4 people, and it was Matthew Perry, who was known from Friends and 17 Again, Lloyd Owen from Monarch of the Glen, Christina Cole, who was from Emma, Lost in Austin, Jane Eyre, Doctor Who, and Jennifer Mudge from The Big C, Law and Order Criminal Intent. So the set was basically a bar scene. It's set up on stage with pillars of brick and windows with a bar and a stool to the left, and on the right was a seating area lit in red. This changed easily over the course of the play, with beds appearing from the back of the stage to the front and from one side in to encompass the girls' individual flats as well as the bar scene, and eventually a hospital and a waiting area. So the synopsis was Matthew Perry wrote the play, and in an interview in the programme he says that he wanted to write a story around friends' generations, singles in their 30s and 40s, longing for love and relationships and dealing with their dilemmas. I have to give a warning about triggers to the storyline. If you're affected by alcoholism and the effects of alcoholic partners, this is definitely not the play for you, or was definitely not the play for you. So it begins with 4 characters confessing their problems. Jack, aka Matthew Perry: I'm an alcoholic and a smoker. Stephanie, aka Jennifer, a prostitute who sometimes dreams of having a partner and a family. Joseph, aka Lloyd: I'm stupid. That's literally all that he said, I'm stupid. And Stevie, aka Christina, out of a long-term relationship, neurotic and desperately wants a family. So Stevie and Steph, who are friends, are at a bar chatting. Jack interrupts them when he hears Steph confess that she's a hooker. When his friend Joseph arrives, they realise that Stevie knows them, as they have been on a couple of dates together. After many drinks, it leads to the next morning, and Steph and Jack awake from spooning one another and discuss how she never sleeps after sex with men, and he hasn't had this good night of sleep before in a long while, as he's a bit of an insomniac. So it jumps to Joseph and Stevie at her place, beating herself up for yet again sleeping with Joseph, because to her he is. She always wonders why he's not in therapy and is having an existential crisis. Scenes jump between Steph and Jack, Stevie and Joseph, and then the boys together, and then the girls. All how they're actually falling for each other. As time goes on, Stevie discovers that she's pregnant, and Joseph is supportive and chooses to be there for her, bringing up their child. Steph asks Jack to meet her parents, except they need to lie, as she says she actually works for Calvin Klein, which does hint a bit of a Rachelism from Friends. So the last 2 scenes of Act 1 is the 4 of them at the bar celebrating Stevie and Joseph's pregnancy. Jack is heavily drunk and makes snide comments about his girlfriend being the prostitute, and show little interest in the pregnancy itself and how people are not drinking. A song comes on and he jumps onto the table dancing, which results in him falling off said table and hurting his eye. So, due to this, the last scene of Act 1 is a confrontation between Steph and Jack. Jack calling her a whore, and Steph giving him an ultimatum. Just to point out this, ultimatums are the worst. They never go the way you want. Don't try it. So the choice was drink or her. End of Act 1, Jack walking out the door and leaving Steph on her own. So then we jump to Act 2. Apparently 8 months have passed, and Stevie's at the hospital about to give birth. With Joseph there, and in the waiting room, Steph and Jack finally see each other for the first time in a long while, and they're not very amicable. Stevie, whilst giving birth, develops complications and develops an embolism, which causes her to fall unconscious. For the first time, you actually see Joseph show true emotions, and he breaks down. He thinks that he's going to lose them both. Whilst they wait, Steph and Jack finally talk and give each other a challenge. In 30 days, they will change their lives and meet again if they actually change. So after Joseph leaves the hospital for a while, he goes and prays, and he asks for support and prays that Stevie and the baby survive. Again, you catch a glimpse of the actual Joseph, who's more intelligent than you first realised than this guy who comes up with really stupid comments. Again, quite Joey-ish. Thankfully, Stevie wakes and the baby is fine. A few scenes pass of Steph going for job interviews and Jack in Alcohol Anonymous. And the final scene is Jack coming to Steph's apartment And the final words both Steph and Jack say to one another are, hello. So the jokes of this show are very adult humour, and in particular Joseph's very vague and blank answers, like I said before, is very reminiscent of maybe a mixture of Joey and Phoebe. Side note, you catch a glimpse of Lloyd Owen's package, if you know what I mean, when he puts his jeans on after his night with Stevie and he is completely naked in the bed, and you see him put his jeans on and you do catch a glimpse. And also Matthew Perry's boxers do not leave much to the imagination either. It wasn't something that I was expecting, but it wasn't anything wrong either. I suppose the humour may not be everyone's cup of tea, but personally I enjoyed Act 1. So far, the rollercoaster of emotion. The joke about Jack shouting was made at some point in the play, after I wondered why, as they didn't use mics to project their voices, like in a musical, so he was shouting. He was quite a loud speaking person, so they made the joke of, why am I still shouting? Second act was quite difficult to watch. It was very hard-hitting. I was affected by the issue of the potential of losing Stevie or the baby, as I lost a brother that as a stillborn. So that always gets me. But the other thing was just of how the scenes of Jack being drunk and the struggles he went through. For Matthew Perry to be able to act that out must reminisce with him because of his past. I have to say, overall, it was a very good play, and it did end on the 14th of May, but if they ever tour the play, I do recommend people go and see it. So, in terms of Little Lisa likes, I actually gave it an 8 out of 10. So there you go, that is my review of The End of Longing. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment below if you'd actually seen it, and what were your thoughts on the play itself. I hope to see you again for another Little Lisa Reviews. Take care now. Bye.